let's continue to integrate Google Login using Passport. And this is where we left in the previous video by having the overview how it's going to work. So the first step is that we need to create an account on Google to get the callback URL and some credentials. So let's get back to Google and then search for Google Developer Console. And then click on the Google Cloud Console, or you can go to console.cloud.google.com. But make sure to log in using your Google account, and for me, I'm going to switch my account to use this particular email. Since this account is new, I'm going to accept the terms and condition, and I have selected my country and terms and condition. Let me agree and continue. Next step is that let's go ahead and create a project by clicking on this icon and then click on the project. And for the project name, I'm going to name it as Tech, and I will go ahead and click on create. As you can see, it is in progress over here. Alright, it has finished, and I can go ahead and select my project, or I can click on this drop down to select the project. As you can see, the project has been selected as that. Now, next step is that we need to enable the services for Google Login. If you click on the APIs and services and then click on library. Well, let me remove this one, and over here scroll down, and what we are going to use is called Google Plus API. So click on that. Alright, and enable this API by clicking on this. The next step is that we need to configure the consent screen. So click on that. And this one contains the information about our application. For example, the application name and then the logo. That will be visible on the Google form when the user is trying to log in with that. And next step is that let's configure these ones, and we have the user type and select the external and then click on create. And here for the app information, let's provide our application name. For ours, it is called MERN blog. So I will say MERN-blog or MERN application or project. And here select the email that you use to log in. And here we can provide logo, and let me use this logo for this application, and you can use any logo of your choice. And under the app domain, leave it as it is, and then the authorized domains, leave it as it is. And for the developer contact information, provide your email, and here we go. Alright, and then click on save and continue. Alright, and then let's get into the scope over here. Have you seen that we are on step 2, and that is the scopes. In summary, scopes express the permissions you request users to authorize for your project and allow your project to access some types of private data from the user Google account. For this one, let's leave it as default, and let's click on save and continue. And then click on the save and continue, and this is a summary. The last step is to get the credentials. So click on the credentials, and let's go ahead and create credentials for our project, and then click on the create credentials, and then select OAuth client ID, and here select the application type. In this case, it is web application. And let's rename our credentials, but this name is not going to be used on the user. And let's provide the name for these credentials, and this name is going to be used internally. So I will say Masync credentials, and this is where we are going to provide the redirect URL. And that is after a user logs in with a Google account, Google is going to send the user data through this particular URL. So click on that, and here let's provide this URL from our backend. This means that this URL is going to be an endpoint on our server. So here, let me change this one to 5000, and that is http://localhost:5000 API version 1 users auth Google callback. And for this one, you can name it whatever you want, but make sure that this URL has been set up in your backend. And we will go ahead and do that. For the meantime, it doesn't exist. So next step is that let's click on create. And these are the credentials that we need. Make sure to use your own credentials, because after this video, I will go ahead and delete my credentials. So here, copy that and back to our application. Let's provide it inside our .env environment, and I will say Google Client ID, and we're gonna have Google Client Secret, and let me paste the client ID and then the client secret. All right, so we are done with that, and click on OK, and that is it. The next step is that we need to configure the Google OAuth with our passport inside our application. Let's continue in the next video.